Happy Monday, everyone. 2 days left from the month before the closing of the month, which, as you might imagine, is quite relevant for our support and resistance levels. We are going to look at what news we've got coming out this week and how that might impact. Today is looking quite monotonous compared to the previous week. We've got nothing coming out from the US side and nothing high impact rated. Tomorrow we have news coming out from Japan, Canada, and the States. That's high impact for the market. Might have an impact on the DXY. At the moment, it seems that the coins are sort of like having their own pattern with reference to the DXY and the S&P, but it's still good to know when the moments of volatility might arise. We have the ISM PMI on Wednesday and the CPI on the Australian side in the morning, and then we have on Thursday again a quiet day, and on Friday we have again the ISM services PMI, which is again an economic indicator, and we should be looking at an over 50 number. The forecast is 54.4, quite high, and we need to see if that's going to happen. Now, it was quite a big surprise in February that it came out so positive. So I think that would be the highest volatility moment of the week. Now, today we're having a quiet day. I am not going to talk about trade setups today because we are still in the same space. I'm going to talk about validation and invalidation, support and resistance levels, because they are the ones that will guide us in terms of direction. And I know I'll sound repetitive, but we're still in the same ranging space. We haven't left that 4-hour ranging space. We're still consolidating there for both ETH and BTC. Now, just for context, let's have a look at the S&P. The S&P hasn't opened yet. The daily stochastic is floored, but still has some space to go. So here's where the bottom is. Here's where it is now. Still a little bit left. We have plenty of space on the regular RSI as well. And as you can see here, we have the 50, the 5 coming down over the 200 EMA, which is not going to be without consequences, in my opinion. This hasn't happened yet, so the crosses haven't happened yet, but the 50 EMA and the 5 EMA are coming down to cross down the 200, and the 50 over the 200, that's generally a death cross. But again, rather than trading death crosses or golden crosses, which might have the inverse effect initially, it's good to look at where we are on the levels. So I mentioned a ranging market for the coins in summary, and you will see how this is correlated to the S&P general flow. The fact is that this local swing, if we are to look at this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, has had a 0.5 correction, almost a golden pocket correction, but it's not yet there at the golden pocket. It's between the 0.5 and the golden pocket. So once a swing completes, then once a swing completes a solid correction, and the 0.5 is the first level of a solid correction, we are looking at what it's going to do. So this one completed the 0.5 and then reversed and did another leg up. So we need to see if it's going to lift from here, or on the contrary, if it's going to retrace down from here and start heading down towards a 702 or 786 level. Now, we haven't backtested the we haven't backtested the support and resistance line, and yes, my mind said it correctly. The 20 MA on the daily, right about here. If you're gonna, there we go. I'm gonna zoom in. This orange line here is the same as this golden line here, so both of them should be back tested for technical reasons. Again, a line of support that's now proven as a resistance shows continuity downwards. So in short, for the S&P, we might see a slight retrace or a back test of the 200 or the 20 on the daily. We might see that. It might be quite a consistent retracement. That's why I would be very cautious with any sort of positions right now, because we need to see what this is going to do. So unless if you take a good position at the back test, hold it, place your stop loss quite closely to your entry so that you don't turn that victory into a loss, or take profits where you think is necessary to do so. We don't have yet a double bottom on the 4-hour confirmed for the S&P, so I don't think this has bottomed out. Just as a side note. So I think when the S&P opens today, we might see some more down movement. Now for the DXY, here we are back up at this support and resistance line, which is where I was telling you last week we're going to arrive. Here we are, we have arrived. What's going to happen here is essential. Are we going to continue to the upside or not? Now, if we're changing to the daily to see how the candles look and how this stochastic looks, it looks absolutely exhausted here at the top, but the RSI still has a room to go. Now, I will make the RSI quite, there we go. So the RSI still has room to go. So at the moment, we need to place, what we need to see on the DXY in order to have continuation is a higher high than the previous high, and basically turning this level into support and continuing. If it is to continue. If it is not to continue, then what we're going to see is retracement down, breaking of support. Now the support, the support that I am watching right now for both the DXY and the coins is on the 4-hour. So right here, the 20 MA is my local support. MA for the DXY, EMA for the coins, because it's a little bit more reactive. So you know that they go they're inversely correlated. When the DXY comes down, coins go up. When the DXY goes up, coins come down. But that hasn't happened lately, so they've all been going up, which again makes us believe that there is a little bit of market manipulation at the moment, a little bit too much market manipulation at the moment in terms of what's going on in the high risk asset category, and coins are there. So again, extreme caution right now, especially as we're moving in a space where again the dollar can gain strength and lift up, and that would be an absolute teardown for other risk assets, or the opposite. So let's start with BTC on the daily. Last night it showed signs of strength as it was closing above the 20 EMA. So it again, when I'll show you here what I mean. When we finish Fridays on the chats, I say the final move on Friday is the real intention for the Monday, for continuation. And the final move on Friday was down. So Friday we finished down here. Saturday continued down. So one day of the weekend continues the move on Friday, one day reverses. Sunday reversed, and Monday generally finishes the move started on Friday. So I expect more continuation to the downside today. The stochastic is down. It's pushing down quite violently. And again, this might not look like much on the day because of the support it's holding, but it is actually a 9.6, 9.7 support and retracement level. However, now it's come short from the next level down at 22.5. It hasn't even done a 236 retracement, which makes me feel slightly suspicious of this move. It is holding right now on the 12-hour the 50. The 5 has hooked up to support it, but it's meeting the resistance of the 10 on the 12-hour. I'm taking the 12-hour as an intermediary between the 4 and the daily, which is where I'm looking at the moment. Now, other intervals to me are just too volatile or too tight to be reading right now. So on the 4-hour, we have the 200, we have the 20, we have the 10 and the 5 that are holding support. So quite strong support at the moment on the 4-hour. There is also resistance on the 4-hour, and it's the resistance of the previous support and resistance level, 23.6, 23.7, and also the resistance of the 5 MA at the moment. So now I'm going to talk about the validation and invalidation levels. Okay. What I'd like you to see is that the current swing, so if this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the 1-hour has been corrected down to the golden pocket. A correction downwards to the 786 would have been very nice because it would match the previous support and resistance level, but it hasn't happened yet. So having corrected to the golden pocket with a double bottom on the golden pocket, I think we need to see a breaking of what we need to see is a breaking of the golden pocket. So I'm gonna mark this. I'm gonna mark these two options as a pathway. So if we're heading down and breaking the golden pocket, then the next level to break is the 786. If we break the 786 and backtest, then we're looking at the 1272 at the 20.3K level, which is where the next level of support and resistance is. But we need to see this level get broken. We need to see the 22.7 level get broken. The upwards trend will be confirmed when we go above the previous support and resistance line, and we break above the 25.2, and then we're looking at 26.7, and I will change the color codes on this. And this would be green. Okay. Okay. Okay, super. So here we have the continuation of correction, confirmation of continuation of correction downwards, and then we have confirmation of another leg up if we go up and we back test through these levels. Now, I know you will say or think I'm quite repetitive, but we haven't left the space that we were in. We have it's the same as the previous swing and the same as the previous swing. We've moved in previous places to correct the previous lift, but we haven't actually indicated anything on the bigger time frames yet, because as long as we are holding those supports on the 4-hour, the 12-hour and the daily, we don't have that confirmation. Now, personally, I believe that this scenario down is more likely. with the stochastic on the daily turn down, and with the stochastic on the 4-hour turn down, and most importantly with the stochastic on the weekly turn down. So we have confirmation and confluence between the day, the weekly, and the 4-hour. But what we need to see is we need to see these levels being broken and not held. Like at the moment we are holding back on the 0.5. That's to me, it looks like a back test, but it doesn't quack like a back test because it shouldn't be broken. So since last night, this level has been holding for 1, 2, 3, 4, 16 hours. So I'd like to see this level, the 0.5 being broken, and then ultimately the 22.8, and then the support and resistance and the 786, and then we're heading for the 1272 at 20,400 or thereabouts. So that's BTC. Now for ETH, we are even in a stronger situation where we have support on the 12 and we have support on the 12-hour, and then we have support on the day as well. We have the stochastic turn down on the day, we have the stochastic on the 4-hour turn down and on the weekly turn down. So it is doing great in terms of stochastic momentum and what it's indicating. However, we are holding that support, and we have been holding it since the weekend, and that's where I was telling you to be quite mindful, because there was at the weekend it looked absolutely beautiful for a drop, but then the 200 on the 4-hour was showing signs of strength and support. And also what we have here is two buyers vectors. Maybe this move has already been finished because we've had the top out signal here on the 4-hour, and now we're heading down. However, for direction, I am watching this blowhorn formation down, and to me it's not yet done. Like, it's had 1, 2, 3 touches to the top, and I think take this one 1, 2, 3 touches to the bottom, but it looks like here it's meeting resistance and it's going to come down some more. In terms of how we have corrected the previous swing, again, this is an issue of particular relevance to me, because once a swing corrects, we have two options: either reversal or correction downwards. ETH has made quite a generous correction of the local swing at the golden pocket, similar to BTC. Now, in terms of the levels, just going to remove okay. So in terms of the levels, what we need to see is the same as BTC. We need to see the golden pocket being broken. Then we need to see the. So we have back tested the previous support and resistance. It looks like we're getting rejected. Now we need to see the golden pocket being broken, and then we need to see the 786 being broken, or the 702 being broken, and then continuation down to, again, 1414, 1618, depends. But what I'm looking at for that is a correction of this swing all the way down to here, okay? And the swing all the way down to here, as beautiful as it's been, it hasn't even had a 0.5 correction yet, which is the 1400. Now 1400, or even the infamous 1350, 1370 would be my main areas. Now, and we are back in these levels. I know it sounds annoying, but here we are back in these levels: level 3, level 2, level 1. So we need to see what's going to happen here. I wish I could tell you something more exciting and interesting, but that's exactly where we are. Trade cautiously. There are profits to be made. Last week, this short opportunity offered great profits. I took my profits a lot earlier on my Bitcoin trade, but still I took them, and I'm in another one started last night, right about here. So when Sydney started, and it backtested the psychological levels here, yesterday's high 23,600. So that's my entry there. and then I'm watching it come down, and I've got my stop loss right above the previous high at 23,700, so very, very tight, because I don't want to see this reversing above the 200 EMA on the 1 hour. So it back tested it a couple of times ever since coming down. I don't want to see it reversing up there. So that's let me go back to ETH levels. So that would be, to me, the pathway down. For the pathway up, what we need to see where we are right now is breaking up above the 1650, back testing it, breaking up above the 1720, and then continuing like this. So that would be my lift up and out of where we are right now. These would be my pathways where we are right now. But again, we need to see how the day progresses, and how New York is going to start, how the S&P is going to start, and if that's going to have an impact on the market. That's it for me. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you tomorrow morning.